Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation. Welcome to Rhodri Giggs on Football. As we come towards the end of the season, we're going to be talking the title race and much, much more. And, of course, we've very happy to announce that coming over the next few weeks, we've got some extra content, and we got some interviews with some different people, including a VAR special with an ex-referee, which will be coming very soon. So I'm really looking forward to that. As ever, I'm joined by ex-Bangor City, ex-FC United, Salford City, Mosley, Aberystwyth Town, and a few others. None other than Mr. Rhodri Giggs on the old 5G tonight. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, all good, mate. Had a little nap before, so I'm ready to go.
Let's rock and roll. Obviously, this weekend is the final weekend for our charity leagues. Let's take a quick look at the top scorers from last week. With the fantasy football, we had Gurtaj Dylan. Apologies if I pronounced your name wrong. Had the highest score with 143 points. Ollie Rushford still holding on to that top spot. In the Super Six, John Morgan had the highest score with 17 points. But Pete McElroy is just clinging on to that top spot for the season. My battle with Rhodri has been over for a while, but I am ending on a high, beating him in both the Fantasy Premier League and the Super Six this week. Fantasy League, I had 106, Rhodri had 95, I had 8, Rhodri had 6. The final deadlines, the final round is this weekend. But, of course, we should make mention, as we will be crowning all the champions and the prizes will go out. It's all for charity, and this season we're on course to raise over £2,000 for the Free Kicks Foundation, a charity that offers underprivileged children a special day out at their favourite football club, which is what it's all about, and that is the main thing. So very happy to say for the 3rd or 4th season in a row that we've been involved with Will doing it. We've raised a lot of money for charity. Big shout out to Will, though, because he's the man who sets it all up. He's the man who does it. And very, very grateful to him. And he's raised an incredible amount of money through his walks for wits at the start of this season. And then the Super Six, the Fantasy Premier League. Do get involved next year. Get involved, challenge yourself against a load of ex-footballers and people. And, just enter, raise your money. Raise money for charity. That's what it's all about. So big shout out to Will. Contact Will Melush. You'll always see him in the chats on YouTube and stuff like that. I can also put you in touch with him to join the group. The more the merrier. I know there's some more ex-footballers joining us next year, so it's going to be even more fun. But mate, lots going on in the world of football.
It's over how many points are in front of you in Super Six? Is it 60 or is it 70? I lost count.
It's not even that much now, mate. It's closing the gap. It's 80 something. 80 something. Sorry, mate. So effectively, it's 2 seasons to 1, isn't it? So you had to win one eventually, but we don't want to. We don't want
As good as your last season. That's I see it.
I don't want to become like United fans now, and what Liverpool fans used to be, where you're clinging to history. It's about
No. As good as your last season.
Yeah,
and this season, I am on top by a country mile.
That's fine, and I accept it. Well done. Congratulations. It's about time you turned up for it, but well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'll give it an extra minute or so this year, so that extra minute's paid off.
Of course. That's what it's about, mate. At the end of the day, I raised over $2,000 for charity, mate, and I'm very happy with that.
That's what it's all about.
100%. Which to kind of on like controversial decisions, I guess. VAR, the Premier League, Wolves have triggered a vote to scrap VAR and the use of assistant referees from next season. All 20 members of the league will have an annual general meeting on the 6th of June, where they will all vote. Personally, I don't think it will make any difference because I don't think there's any way all of those clubs will, or they won't even get a majority. I think the majority would rather it stay. Where do you kind of? I know we're gonna have that conversation with the ex-referee next week, which is going to be really interesting. But just generally speaking, like where do you stand?
Like not saying the name for a big reveal.
No, it's just in case it falls through, mate. I've learned my lesson over the years. It's just like something always happens, and then like it's not like a big secret. It's just like I just learned. But like so, basically, I'm interested. Like generally speaking. What are your opinions on VAR? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Somewhere in the middle? Because for me, I would rather we just have goal line technology and bin off VAR.
I like it. I like it. It's just the idiots who run it.
But you're always going to get that, aren't you? It's because it's always referred back to a human. So you're always going to have the human error. So you may as well.
But how are you getting human error? It's quite clear. You set it up. Right. This is what happens. I'm in the booth on last night. Say last night, right? Penalty appeal, right? I'm speaking to the guy who I'm in the where is it? Stockley Park. These days. Some little cubbyhole somewhere. So I'm speaking to the guy who's running it, who's doing the stuff. Right, show me every single angle you've got. Right, yeah. No, can't see anything there. No, can't see anything there. No, can't see anything there. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, go back. Go that we just shown it. Yeah, he kind of clips his ankle and he kind of clips his bottom of his foot like near his Achilles. So, in my view, it looks like a penalty, but you need to go and have a look and just change your mind or not. But yeah, I'd advise you to go and have a look at the screen. That took me what? What did that take me for? Instead, this is how they go. Takes them like 4 minutes, and they've not even seen every angle. And the most important angle is the one that shows it's a penalty. Yeah. So why are they not seeing all the angles? So that's the rundown. In rugby league or in rugby union, you can hear him speaking. Right, show me this angle. Can't see him there. And you can hear it. You can hear them conversing with each other. These fucking idiots don't know what they're doing. You sending the camera. There's a VR panicking, going all flustered. Oh shit! Got to make a decision. No, concentrate. Look at the evidence and see all the footage, and then make a decision. Instead, they're all bumbling idiots because they don't know what they're doing. It's so frustrating. They have 0 faults in rugby union, rugby league, 0, and everyone can hear what's going on. People at home can hear. People going to hear in the crowd. Brilliant. You can see it, bosh. Yeah, I don't think that for football you should be able to see it, but you still should be able to hear what's going on with a paying customer. We don't want to hear 2 bumbling idiots talking about what they think and then ultimately get it wrong. It's just so the VAR is a perfectly good system. It's just idiots running it.
Yeah, it's a weird one for me because I think it's from a purely like fan perspective, but I can imagine for the players as well, like the constant scoring of like a last minute goal, and then you kind of half celebrate, but then you're celebrating, and then you're like it stops. You got to wait 4 minutes, and then you don't get it, or you do get it, And I just think it takes a lot away from what makes football so incredible. Whereas, if you go back before any technology was there, we'd be in the pub afterwards. Oh, that fucking ref, he hates us, blah, blah, blah. But at least, you accepted that it was human error, and, their mistakes will happen. Sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't. But then equally, now it's like, well, there's video technology, and the decisions still seem to be wrong. There's been so many this year, which I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, all right, if you're not going to give this, that's fine. But then, 24 hours later, you'll have exactly the same thing, and they give it, and you're just like,
I just feel
why people hate it.
If you've got the technology, use it. It's just use it properly.
Use it properly.
Yeah, use it properly.
Let me ask
it
you
may
about
be good on the island. You know what? We'll just keep offsides because we're not trained well enough to be using this at the minute. Maybe they do it where they pull back from it and then train ex-pros and get ex-pros in there with the referees and get them qualified to help them out.
My one problem with the ex-pros thing is there's a lot of ex-pros don't seem to be able to remove their bias from it. So if you look at someone like Gabby, just as an example, right? Gabby,
you're not going to get that numpty in there.
No, I know that, but but all players. So just as an example for him,
probably that's a bad idea because you don't want too many people in there. You can't have a discussion. Oh, that's not that's not a bad tackle. That's a bit of the. So they've got to go by, and the referees go by the law, really, don't they? Where
let me ask you a question then, mate. You would have watched the United game on the weekend, not the Newcastle game, the Arsenal game, right? So Ahmad cuts in the box, and at first I thought, oh, it's not a penalty. But then when they showed it from the other angle, I was like, well, he's tripped him up, so it is a penalty. But from what I could gather, what they showed on TV, it didn't seem like the VAR. They just kind of quickly looked at it, looked at the images, and they didn't look at that one angle, which showed that he tripped him. And then I was like, what's the point in having it if you don't look at all the angles?
Well, this is what I've just said. I've just said how it should play out. Right, give me every single angle you've got. Don't give me every single angle when the flipping incident's passed. I want every single angle now. How long should it take? What? Boom, no, boom, I just went through it. There was 4 different angles, and then a 5th one, it might have been a fourth one that came up, and it was blatant. You could see it. Yeah. And that's why I said with the Gordon one, it was like, it's on 3 different camera angles. You can't really see it. But then the 4th one, it's very clear. So but that's the one that we've seen after the fact. It's like,
why haven't they shown it?
That's why Gordon was adamant. That's why he was adamant when he got interviewed. If you watch his interview after the game, he said to his teammates that's a penalty. Watch it. I don't even need to argue with the referee. That's why I didn't argue with him. So I'm just going to wait because he said it was quick. Blah, blah, blah. So I was just waiting. And when we just kept on playing, and he couldn't believe it. He stopped.
It's mad, mate. So Reese has just put in the comments. He says, "What if the referee's assistant and say the ex-pro? What if they both disagree?" But that's the same as what it is now. The people in the box. If one of them
you're taking away from the
referee. It goes back to the ref anyway, doesn't it? You say, "Have a look." We think one of us thinks it's a penalty, one of us is not sure. You have a look. This is the angle you need to see. Look at it. I don't see why it's complicated, but we've seen so many inconsistencies this year with handballs, fouls. Just as an example, again, there was the one where against Man City and United where they took it back for that penalty against Højlund. But then I've barely seen any similar incident given as a penalty all season. Højlund was rugby tackled at Arsenal earlier in the season and nothing. It's just this weird consistency is what we all want. If X is a foul or X is a handball, whatever, that's fine. But it's got to be, every game has got to be the same. It cannot be, yes, 24 hours, no. 24 hours later on a Monday, it's a penalty again. Then the next weekend, it's not a penalty. And it's just infuriating for everyone. And if you look, you could go on social media, mate. Every single group of fans think they've been done over by VAR this year. Liverpool fans think they've had the worst of it, and they think VAR screwed them over. But then all other fans do the live VAR pool because they think Liverpool always get the best of the decisions. Like every fan base thinks VAR has screwed them over. And to me, that's a massive issue because that shows the inconsistency in it. But I don't know where we go with it, mate, because I am interested what he says on Monday, just in terms of as an ex-referee, how he looks at it. Because he was a very, very good referee, a top referee who interacted with the players and had, a very good way of dealing with players and their attitudes back in the day. And I'm interested in what he thinks, if it's improved things, if it's made it worse, if referees don't take responsibility, because I think not just the technology side of it, but I think the general standard of refereeing has gone down. Because I think they think that, if I missed it, that's fine. They'll expect VAR to sort of, make the decision. But VAR is almost not going against the referee's on-field decision unless it's so blatant, like really obvious. So then you have all these nuances in between which get missed because they don't want to go against the referee's on-field decision. And then it just becomes farcical. See if you come back now. You're frozen. Moving on from VAR, I want to talk a bit about the title race first. Actually, we may as well, because we were just talking about United. I'll let you. I wanted to ask you a few things about United. So I'll sort of have my say while I wait for you to unfreeze. I've noticed that Wayne Rooney, Roy Keane, Gary Neville, a lot of the kind of ex-players, legends, they seem to have slightly changed their tune on Ten Hag in the last 2 weeks, where they're not saying like he should leave, he should be sacked, etc. They've kind of changed to, I think he's. They've kind of changed their tune a little bit, and they're kind of like, I think he needs to be given time. He's got to get certain players out, and basically, I think the reason that the likes of Gary Neville, Wayne Rooney, Roy Keane, these people have changed their tune a little bit is because they've heard through the grapevine that Ten Hag is probably staying next year. Do you see a difference in how they're kind of discussing the manager situation over the last probably 2 weeks? They seem to be more supportive of Ten Hag than they were previously. Almost like they know something.
Because they can identify what a challenge it is with these players. And most of these players that are still there, that have got all these managers sacked. So stick with him, give him another year and see what happens. Look what happened with Arteta. Klopp took 3 or 4 years. So to turn it around in 2 years, what done him, really? He had a really good year last year. I say really good year. What did he finish? Second, third?
Third. And a trophy.
And won a cup.
And got to another final as well.
So he probably overachieved last year, and this is where we're at this year. So, but we had Ronaldo last year. He probably helped a lot.
Yeah, and
he
had Sancho for a bit. And there's. Do you know what's interesting about it as well? Did you see when the Sky presenter, I forget his name, sorry, but he brought up the squad of United and they divided it into defence, midfield, and attack. Yeah, that's it. And he said to Wayne Rooney, like, what would you base? What's
the young kids get rid of all of them? Yeah,
he said you build a side around Bruno Fernandes, you keep all the young kids, and he basically said get rid of them all. And the presenter went, what? And Wayne Rooney was like, yeah, they've all think of the managers who United have had post Fergie. Jose Mourinho, serial winner. Van Gaal has won things all over the world. Ten Hag was a revolutionary manager, which is why they wanted him. Apart from David Moyes,
who had won leagues wherever he'd been.
Yeah, they're all, apart from David Moyes, they were all proven managers worldwide, Europe, whatever you want to say. But I guess. But suddenly, those top managers aren't good enough to get a team going. So surely it's what's happening behind the scenes is more likely to be the issue rather than the manager. So you just get another, whoever De Zerbi, get in whoever goes in until they're able to change the structure off the field and get rid of some of the players who they need to get rid of. You know, like this summer, Martial's leaving, Varane's leaving. I would probably guess there's a few others, like maybe Rashford, possibly. A few others are going to be gone. So you got to let him finish the rebuild. Like, he's halfway through getting rid of players that he wanted out. Like, you got to think, and with hindsight, it's probably good for him that he had McTominay and Maguire this year, because they have probably done him a good job with all the injuries and stuff like that. But realistically, he wanted those two gone last summer to then bring in other players, because he's trying to change the mentality of that place, the squad, everything. And I just think, what's the point in sacking him? I just don't. I understand 8th worst season ever, blah, blah, blah. But something's got to change. You've got to break the cycle. And I think they're starting to change things off the field. Now they're going to eventually change things on the field. Stick with the manager. Because if he goes next year, if they keep him next year and he has a really good season, they can say, right, now we can build with you. And you can give him a 3-year contract, and he'll have the stability and the continuity to take them to trust where they need to go.
This year, they can't just wait a year and keep the same players. The players are going
out. No. They've got to get rid of players now. That's what I mean.
But I'm pretty sure most of the players it'll be sorted from the club. Probably like okaying it or having a little bit of a say. Should I say?
So, just very quickly, last thing I want to ask you about with United is I've been very impressed over the last probably 2 or 3 games. Ahmad, like, you look at Ahmad and you think, why the hell hasn't he been playing since he came back from injury? You look at Amrabat in midfield where he's comfortable. It's clear that he needed a run of games to get up to speed, to get a bit of confidence and fitness. And all of a sudden, the team's got structure, because you've got Amrabat, which is releasing Mainu to play a bit more like a number 8. You've got Ahmad on the right. Bruno's back in last night. It's just, my concern if I was a United fan would be, when this final comes around, they're all coming back now. You've seen them all on the bench last night. Is he going to revert back to Casemiro in midfield, which exposes Mainu and the defence? Because he should keep Amrabat in there, mate, in my opinion. He should keep Amrabat in there. He should keep Mainu in there. I don't think Casemiro, unless he goes with like Amrabat and Casemiro, and then Mainu and plays Bruno as a false 9 or a right winger or whatever. But for me, those 2 players in particular have changed the whole dynamic.
Best players, and Højlund was one of the best players up there by his movement. You can't, and even though Fernandes played a brilliant game yesterday, I still think he still needs to be in that number 10 spot.
So now, if let's assume, say, Maguire's back, Martinez looks like he's going to be back, so they're going to have a few senior centre backs back. What's your midfield against, or what's your front sort of 6 or whatever against Man City? Who's starting for you?
Ahmad, Højlund, Garnacho, Amrabat, Bruno, Manu,
Casemiro on the bench.
Dalot, Martinez. You can't play Casemiro against fucking Højlund. You just can't.
Unless they play 3 at the back, this is the only way they could potentially
they're not going to do that. Not going to do that. Well, they might do that, but I doubt it, because he would probably be in the middle there, though, wouldn't he? But then you've got a problem of 2 left. Dogs. Then you've got a problem of 2 left-footed centre halves, one on the right and one on the left. So it'd be a bit disjointed, but it's a difficult one. But whoever you play on Saturday is the team that you go with.
It's going to be really fascinating, mate, because I think Ahmad has been exactly not just what United need, but I actually think he's what Højlund needs as well. Someone who is looking to assist him rather than score for themselves. Like, Anthony cuts in and he's looking to shoot. Rashford cuts in, is looking to shoot. Ahmad cuts in and is looking for little 1-2s, little triangles. That's what Højlund needs to get in behind and to get these chances. And then when you add Bruno to the mix, and then I think Garnacho his decision making is not quite there still, but you'd expect that.
He's young, mate. He's young.
And he should not have. He's started like 30, I think it's 33 games on the bounce. I don't think, really, in an ideal world, he would have started 33 games on the bounce. They would have rotated him in and out, give him half here, half there, and they.
I don't know. He's 19 now, mate.
Yeah, I just mean that they would have probably given him a rest a bit more, like taking him off for 20 minutes to go.
Possibly, but I'm just going back to thinking when our kid come through and he was playing 30, 35 games by the age he was 18, 19. So it's normal. If you're good enough, you play him. And if you don't see no signs of tiredness, you keep playing him. Obviously, you got to keep an eye on stuff. That's why he's been bringing him off in 60 minutes a lot this year. So he isn't playing full games. So it's fine.
I got. You're frozen again. I think I'm back. I got two questions for you then, based around what Reese has just said in the comments, really. So the first one is, Jose Mourinho said that finishing second with United was his greatest achievement with that squad of players and everything which was going on. He said that was his greatest achievement as a manager. Everyone mocked him at the time. With hindsight, can you see where he was coming from?
Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did the same thing.
Yeah. I'm just asking the question, mate. Can you understand what he was getting at?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. With that team that he had, yeah. That was with a Paul Pogba and Jesse Lingard, and so they had a lot more legs in the team then.
And people forget, Mike, as well.
If he says that, he's not the type of person to bullshit, is he? So you believe him.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is people forget, like I know Pogba for the money and everything which come with it. Like people think he was a flop and he probably didn't achieve what he should have at United. But he also, at times, was very, very good for United. If you go back to when Mourinho made him captain.
He was very, very good 5 times a year.
Yeah.
Well done.
It was a consistency thing. No, I'm just saying that
£90 million
did have an impact.
5 times a year. Well done.
I agree with you, mate.
Yeah, looks nice. You got nice hair. Got nice shade of blue this week. So yeah, then he's good dancing and just think had good dancers. Just what I wanted to see.
Media. Good on social media.
Yeah,
so Reese put another question in. He says, with what Ten Hag has spent so far, 80 million on Anthony, for example, obviously the Mount thing. So he says, would you trust him to spend this summer? Before you answer that, I will just say the Anthony thing, people kind of jump and blame Ten Hag for that. Ten Hag wanted him at the start of the summer, but the club
said bad recruitment, bad business.
They had other targets.
I would say
got
him 30 or 40 million. Same with Casemiro. Why on earth would you give 5 years to a 30-year-old who can't run now?
Yeah,
and then
I agree.
And then 60 million, I don't see it, Mason Mount. I don't see it. So yet to see it anyway. So, but you give him a pass, he's had a few injuries, he's not a good, so we'll see how we go with him. But he's got legs, he's still young, and he's a good footballer. I've seen enough of him at Chelsea and for England to know he can play football. So it's just fitting him in where you fit him in. But
they need a strong squad as well, don't they? So I think
they do. But I'm sure Mason Mount come Man United to being a squad player. I'm sure he wants to start. I'm sure he could fit in there with if he was fit and 100%. Would he be in there with Bruno, Manu, and himself?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, and I think it's going to be really interesting what United do in the summer because Ineos will want to make a statement with players out and players in, and they will want to sort of announce their arrival, this new structure and everything that's in place. So it's going to be really fascinating because I almost think it'll be more interesting who goes than who stays because I do think there's a slim chance that Anthony goes. Because if you've seen Anthony's reaction recently to some of Ten Hag's decisions, like when he's asked him to play left back, for instance, a couple of times, there's he thinks he should be playing on the wing. What he bases that on, I don't know. But he does think that. And I don't think they're as tight as they were when he first came. I don't think. And that's because of his...
Same with him. He's young, 21.
Yeah.
No.
New
a lot
country.
to deal with, moved to a different country, some personal issues this year as well. So it's a lot to deal with as a 21-year-old. I think what was I doing at 21? I was living in London, so I was living in London, but it's only 2 hours away. Yeah, it was. It's it's difficult.
I mean, last question quickly, because I ask you this every few weeks, and I want to see if your opinion has sort of changed. Would you sell Rashford in the summer?
Yes.
Would you sell out Rashford to Arsenal in the summer if they paid the right price?
I wouldn't sell him to an English club, no.
Okay, cool. Right, let's move on to the title race, mate. It's gone to the last day, technically. I think it is interesting, though. Everyone's kind of like acting as if the Premier, is over. But, I mean, if City were to drop points on the weekend and Arsenal win, I think Arsenal can still win the league. It's not over.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not. Because West Ham are no mugs, but at City, for them to win the league.
West Ham, will they want to win David Moyes' last game?
Arsenal won't win. All eyes will be on you. You don't want to be known as, just you're already on the beach. You've got to be professional. David Moyes is a good manager. It's his last game. But they have took some thumpings this year. So if you get an early goal, it'd be a 4 or 5-0 job. If it gets squeaky bum time, I still expect City to win. But because it got a bit, it was getting a bit on in the week against Tottenham. And if Son scores that,
yes.
Yeah, which he really should do. 95 times out of 100, you'd fancy him there. He's missed it. Yeah, so... but yeah, you'd expect it. But you've seen this stuff that has happened in the last game of the season. Remember Arsenal did it, I don't know, was it 30, 40 years ago? Against Liverpool. The Aguero incident. So it can happen.
Reece just asked a question. He said, as a United fan, would you sign Son from Spurs? Yeah, it's got some contract issues. Looks like there's potentially could leave Spurs in the summer.
I'd swap him with Rashford. Yeah, Tottenham can have him. No problem.
Would you sign Son? Would you have Son at United? Do you think he's up to the standard that you want?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Good stuff. He should have scored that last night, man. Absolutely should have scored that. And do you know what? Like, if Reece said, then how did Son miss? I've never heard an atmosphere like that. It was dead. Everyone seemed happy that they'd lost to stop Arsenal winning the league. Yeah, it was a strange.
That's a Spurs mentality because they're not used to winning. So they're haters. So they'd rather wishing someone else that they don't win. Yeah, so it's a concentrate on themselves. Who cares if Arsenal win it? Just concentrate. And they seem to have a good manager who has that same mindset. So it's just the fans.
I don't think he was very impressed, was he?
Spursy thing to do. Yeah, it's just pathetic.
Borough fan says everything which United have done since Ferguson has left has been really poor considering their status in the game. I think, and that's what we've been talking about, is the structure off the field has been shambolic. What you can say is the moves that they're making off the field now, I think, is quite ominous for other clubs, because if United get back...
Fergie had David Gill, didn't he? Had a proper geezer above him so he could work with. We had that fucking idiot, what his name is?
Ed Woodward. The banker.
Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward wanted the equaliser.
Ed Woodward. Remember when he left?
The equaliser. You remember the old equaliser, the old Jag? His turn. Ed Woodward plays the equaliser. Remember? Old geezer in his Jag.
I remember when he left pre-season tour saying United can do business that no other club in the world can do. Left the pre-season tour urgently to sort out a transfer and then didn't sign anyone. And it was just like, you fucking idiot. Oh, mate. They're still paying for his mistakes, mate. Martial's only just leaving now. It's crazy, mate. And the problem, I think Roy Keane mentioned it last night, the problem United have is it's all very well saying you want to get
Get
rid
them out,
of A, B, C. They're all on so much money because of Ed Woodward. Why do they want to why should they go somewhere else on less
Well,
money?
you think, you're not going to get
Personal
games.
pride, and
They're still going to be on a few quid. People are like that same mentality we've just talked about. Spurs fans. This is why you need to get these players out if they have that mentality. Because it's just a poor mentality.
This
all about winning. Money's secondary, but games.
I know, I agree. It's the mentality of that group, I think, unfortunately. This next comment I'm going to put on the screen, mate, right? This is about Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward refused to sign Matthias de Ligt because his father was fat and he was worried that it was genetic and de Ligt would also become fat. Isn't de Ligt one of the most...
so suddenly fucking Ed Woodward's Joe Wicks? This is what I mean. The guy's an idiot.
Yeah, it's certainly problematic. I want to ask
Mourinho,
you about...
You didn't back Mourinho. You back Mourinho, he gets results. They didn't back him.
Well, when they finished second, that was when they should have doubled. They should have backed him. Like
Same
when he finished
Spurs
second
in the Champions League final.
Yeah,
they should have doubled down when you got the Champions final, but they didn't. Old Levy, tight and cramp.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me about Arteta, mate. Like what? Because I looked at that United game versus Arsenal on the weekend, and I was like, I think Arsenal have probably been consistently one of the best teams in the league this year. Probably, I think they're very enjoyable to watch, but you can't deny that every time they've played United this year, Dalla has had Saka in his pocket, and I didn't think Arsenal looked great against United. Now, is that because United changed a bit tactically and they just generally played a bit better and they had something to prove after the Palace game? Was it because they didn't challenge Arsenal enough, or did Arsenal just sort of do enough and grind it out? Like, where do you stand on Arteta? Do you rate him? Do you think, like, I'm interested in it because he's obviously Pep's understudy, isn't he, effectively?
Yeah, he's done really well. You can see the progression. Obviously, his first year, second year was last year, where they just fell short. Made a couple of decent signings, even though Havertz was a head scratch. It seems to be working out now. He seems to be performing. So, and then obviously you got Declan Rice, who you'd expect to be just fit straight in because he's a Premier League player for years and he's an England player. Plus, it was a big price tag, but he's worth that. So that's made them better. I think they just fall short. And then next year they'll probably in the summer get centre forward, and they'll be real contenders. So they are real contenders now, but City are still favourites. But I think Arsenal might be pushing them next year if they do get that top striker, because it's just sometimes it's just a difference. You're looking at small things now. You look at small things that what's our head-to-head? Did we draw both games, or did they win one and we draw one, or did we drop points? Is that when we lost it? So it's just small, minute details now because they're both on a certain level. Liverpool were on, but seem to have fell away at the end of the season. But Arsenal have kept at it, winning games, and that's not easy when you're under pressure. But I could say that experience and that know-how from learning from last year has stood them in good stead. So, like I said before, it still might change. The last game of the season could go to the wire, but City are experienced machine, and I don't see it. Maybe if it was away, you'd be like, possibly. But even that's a big pitch, big open pitch for City. It's not like Old Upton Park where they're on top of you. So I still fancy them, but at City, I just don't see it. Just really don't see it. Unless there's an early sending off, someone makes a mistake, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see that. Like, I agree. I think if it was at West Ham, you've got the David Moyes' last game, and it's going to be emotional, and maybe that adds to it. I think at City, you'd expect them to win. But
to answer your question, he's done very well. He's done very well. He's had good backing, And that's what helps to have good recruitment and have the backing of people upstairs who know what they're doing. I think it's Ed who you're working with. So, he seems to have a good relationship.
Eddie's done a great job, mate, I think.
Yeah,
and that's why he's director of football.
Like we go back to this Ed Woodward, who's a clown who don't know nothing. Didn't sign person. His dad's fat. You know, laugh. My dad's fat now. He's 67. Does that mean it's just a joke? It's just stupid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, mate.
Yeah.
And I do like. I think like the Havertz one was a real head scratcher. No one could quite understand why they paid 70 million for him, and it was like a weird one because he hadn't really torn up trees for Chelsea. He scored a couple of important goals, and I think the thing for me is that false nine thing. It does work for when you've got players like Saka and Martinelli and Trossard. Like it does suit them having a Havertz in the middle who drops in, and then they can sort of get in behind. But I think as teams realize that you're good and you're dangerous, they set up differently. So even against United, like they set up and they made it quite difficult for Havertz to do what he had done previously. And I think that's why they need an out-and-out number 9 to be able to play both ways. Like you need to have a change of tactics. Reece has put an interesting point there. He said like Arsenal need a left back and they need a number 9. But they're also these players. Smith Rowe's up for sale. Kieran Tierney is up for sale. Thomas Partey's up for sale. Nketiah's up for sale. But he says, honest question, Rhodri, what do you think Havertz's best position is? Because I still couldn't tell you. Is false 9 his best position? Which is really weird because it's generally a made-up position.
One thing about Havertz is you can play him in a various of different positions, so it's a good tool to have.
You need those utility players.
Pardon?
You need utility players, don't you? You need players who can play several positions.
He's an expensive utility player, but it seems to be obviously Arteta's seen something that he wants out of him, and that's why he got him. You know, who reads the question? A manager or coach who's going head to head to Pep, and he's 1 point behind him, so he obviously seen something in him.
Yeah, I think Havertz's done a good job, mate, this year for Arsenal. Yeah. I've been genuinely impressed with him. Do you think it'll be interesting? I mean, Borough fans just put there. Do you think Arsenal could go for Ivan Toney? The thing with Ivan Toney to Arsenal, for me, and actually similar if you say United were to go for him, the thing for Ivan Toney is he's going to want to play every single week. And if he goes to Arsenal, I'm not sure that he'd play every single week. If he goes to United, they've got Højlund. And I understand you want to have a selection of strikers. But for him personally, he wants to go and play week in, week out. So do Arsenal change from the false 9 system, which has taken him within a point to City, to accommodate playing him every week? Or has he got to accept that he might not start every week? Is it
good to have options, mate? If it's good to have options, and if I'm Ivan Toney, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to Arsenal. I'm going to back myself and score 30 goals, and how can we drop me from scoring every week? So, yeah,
I agree with that. Another question for you is that have you ever considered getting into coaching after you stopped playing?
Well, I am coaching.
I know you're doing your coaching badges, aren't you? And
you coach. I know you're coaching badges years ago. Yeah, still do. Coaches, we've got trials coming up not next week, the week after, where about 100 kids, professional scouts come in, and we'll have them there from 10 till 4. It's the 29th and the 31st, a Wednesday and Friday. Yeah. And we've just...
go on. I was going to say you were coaching that, or you were like involved with our men's team last year as well, weren't you?
Yeah. And then I got banned. But now I'm free to do it again. So, yeah, we've been looking for jobs, me and my mate. So, yeah, still doing it.
Good man. You know that trial you're on about then? What age groups is that for?
Oh, that is from age 8 to 15. 8 to 15, yeah. Probably 14, maybe 14, not 15. 14.
Right. I might be a bit too old then.
And you'll have like all professional scouts, so we'll have different age groups. A coach assigns it each age group. We'll do warm ups, do little drills and stuff. Then we'll go into games, and then scouts will just walk around. Do that for 2 hours. Do that for an hour and a half. Then break for lunch, and then do a little warm up again. Do a little game and out for an hour again. Maybe finish off with some penalties, and then
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff.
Usually about 15 to 25 kids that come get scouted and get trials.
Who's that? Is that through your boys' club?
AKA Elite. Yeah.
Okay.
AKA Elite football trial.
Yeah. My 15-year-old has got a trial or two in the summer, which is going to be interesting. So see how that goes. But,
my lad's only 9, but he's enjoying football. I don't. People have asked him to come to certain clubs, but I don't think he's ready. I do still do one-on-ones with him. He plays with his local team and trains, plays for. Yeah, he's not ready for that yet. But
I think playing with your local grassroots team is so important to your growth as a kid in football.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Because they take exactly, mate, and they take out. And once you get into an academy, you're not allowed to play for your grassroots team anymore. And I think you lose that. There's something to be said for the camaraderie and the everything which comes, especially if you've got a decent coach at the grassroots level, which, I've been lucky enough to be involved myself. And also my mate is the manager. So I know that my son's always been in good hands. You're the same. You're coaching your boy, so he's getting good coaching, but also, he's enjoying his football, playing with his mates, etc. And I think that's vital, mate. And I think sometimes,
like some teams, have
people jump in,
like a reserve team, just happened for 2 years ago. Now, see you later, and the kids are just like, what? So many times, yes. I know.
Kids just get discarded. There's some grassroots coaches, mate, who think they're they think they're academies. They're holding trials for kids, and it's like, come on, you're discarding kids from playing football. Surely, if you're a grassroots coach for kids, young kids, your only goal should be to get as many kids playing football as possible. Get them out the house, get them off the Xbox, get them socializing and playing football. That should be your only goal. Of course, when you get up into the teenage years and you start playing league football and it's competitive, then you've got to pick sides and you've got to, think about different things, tactics and winning games. But when you're 7s to 11s, 12s, it should just be fun, mate, for them, ultimately. And if you're a good coach, you improve them as you're going along anyway, as you're making it fun.
Yeah. And
so often it's those coaches who fancy themselves as Pep coaching 7-year-olds and saying, "Oh, you're not good enough for my
coaching
team."
They're
the ones who don't improve teams, improve kids.
Yeah, well, we under our Old Trafford Juniors. John doesn't. John played the Football League, coached at Manchester City. So and obviously I've played and coached, and so some of these kids answer back to you. You just tell them straight. You do this when you go to a professional club, they will kick you out before you can say in a bit. You can't do it. Don't answer back. If you don't like it. And it was one of the lads was coming in, and he was coming in on goal, and defenders come across, and his mate's right next to him, and instead of just passing it to his mate, he's tried to shoot or go around him. And we've said to him, "Your mate's there, just pass." And he's I didn't see loads of different excuses. But the next 2-3 times he was in that position in the same game, he didn't do it. He passed it, and we scored every time. So we obviously video it as well. So then look, see, this is what you did there, and this is what you did there. It's not all about scoring. You assist is just as well as a goal. It's not all about goals. You look stupid now. Look at that. You look stupid because your mate's there. He would have passed to you if you was in that position, but you don't because you're selfish. But always pass if someone's in a better position. So it was a bit of a bottom lip, but we got it. They get it in the end.
It's a learning process, mate, isn't it? This is an interesting point, which will this will be the last discussion, because I really like this. I saw this thing, a post on social media earlier this week, and Reese has just reminded me. And it said basically the kind of gist of it is when we was young, you were watching United in the Champions League and stuff on ITV for free, 16 million people watching it. Football was so accessible to kids. And it's why I'm as knowledgeable as I am about United is because I used to sit with my old man on a Wednesday night when I had school the next day watching Champions League football. And I grew up doing that. Whereas now everything's on like Sky and BT. It's far less accessible. Like my son, who's like football mad, all of them are, apart from the middle one, but like to play it, but watching it, they're not as bothered. Like my younger one likes the tactical side of it, but like he won't sit and watch like Super Sunday or something like that unless Cardiff was playing.
Yeah, but you all watch shorts on the phone, mate.
Yeah, of course.
Reels and shorts.
But it is also less accessible.
They haven't got the attention span to sit down and watch a whole game.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that. But I also think there's an element of it being less accessible. Because, Match of the Day and all the highlights programs are on at 11 o'clock.
There's a lot of things going on. If you had your PlayStation with your mates upstairs on a touch of a button in your earphones or a mobile touchscreen phone, would you have been sat nice and quiet with your dad watching Champions League football? You might not have been. There's so many things these young kids now. That's why most of them, you see it at school, that's why they're all 100 mile an hour and they just sit down and relax and chill out.
Yeah, they can't stop them. They're just constant.
They can't sit still. It's like, just relax.
It's like
so many things going on.
The ADD generation, isn't it, mate? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, ADHD is a real thing, which causes issues for people. And like, I know more than most how much it causes issues for kids. Like, but also things like the TikTok kind of generation has made it 10 times worse. And it's just everything's 100 mile an hour. Everything is just like
Insta.
Yeah. It's problematic, mate. It's a whole. We could talk. It's like a whole different subject, isn't it? Like,
yeah, exactly. Just go down that rabbit hole, you never come out.
Yeah. Rob, like who's Rob, who does the Cardiff City stuff for me and has filled in for me on the channel before. He coaches young kids now. He coaches his son's team, and he said he has people messaging him asking like if their kids can try out for his team, and he said it makes him sad that there are teams out there who make kids like try out at that and invoke that mentality at that age group because they're just young kids starting out playing football for the first time. But there is coaches out there, mate, who are like, they will get a group of 8-year-olds, their first ever season playing football.
Because they're idiots. They're idiots. All
the best ones. No, it's like, who's doing?
No, because they're living their life through that. All they want to do is win. Not about how the kids are progressing, how they want to play football and just enjoy it. It's all about that dickhead wanting to win on the weekends. Yeah. So you can post on Instagram, my team's fucking great. I can't have you because you're crap. No, well, you coach them. That's your job, to coach them to get better, you donut. But no, you can't play because you're not good. Your left foot's not good enough. Well, coach him, you dick. There's so many of them. The laptop flipping coaches. They need volleying, all of them.
Oh, mate, there's like in our league.
You're playing football against you. You play a charity football against them. I'm 47. Don't do any fitness work. I don't do anything. I'm 47, and you watch them. 80 minutes, or 70 minutes even. Some 47 just skipping round them, and they can't even kick a ball straight. Some of them.
No, mate, it's mental. Yeah, and like, there's guys in our league who like they're referee, and this year, in about 3 or 4 games, we've had teams like who just like they just cheating. And like I said to the one guy at one point, I was like, mate, at some point you're just a grown man spoiling kids' football because you're so desperate for your team to win. Like, I understand refereeing's hard, especially with teenagers, blah blah blah. Everyone accepts at that level that you might miss things. But when you're blatantly cheating, you're just a grown man spoiling kids' football. And to me, that's like a massive issue. And I'm lucky that the guy who manages our team, Gareth, is like proper sound, because I would have lost my head at certain points this year if I wasn't with him, basically, because it was just outrageous, mate. The cheating that goes on, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, just let them play. Just let them play. If you lose, you lose. It's not the end of the world.
No.
It's embarrassing, mate. Embarrassing.
Have you seen the card for 304?
Say again?
You seen the card for 304, UFC 304?
I haven't, no, mate. What is it? Is that the one that's in Manchester?
Mohamed Makachev against Manuel Cape, Arnold against Gige Chikad. Well, whatever that is.
I like
Bobby Green. Bobby Green against Paddy Pimlet. Tom Aspinall against Curtis Blades, and main event Leon Edwards against Belal Mohammed.
Oh. Is that the one that's in Manchester? Yeah.
Yeah, Manchester. Yeah. Might go to that. I forgot about that. It's in Manchester. It's gonna be late, isn't it?
Yeah, they've done it for American TV time, haven't they? So it's
it's July though, so it'll be off. It won't be in work. School will be off.
Yeah,
Might go to that.
That's a hell of a card, though.
Yeah, but just. But these people coaching our kids, mate. There's a lot of them now these days.
Yeah. Well, they are. Leeds 3-0 up at half time.
No, that's what I was just looking at there. I was fuming, yeah.
That's disappointing, isn't it? They'll be back up, I think.
Got 2 Leeds fans at work. What it's a terrorising. Wait till the final.
Yeah. It may be. I got a feeling they might go up through the playoffs, mate. I think they're hitting form at the right time.
Oh.
Southampton Leeds final, do you think, in the Championship?
Possibly. Mind you, West Brom, you never know.
No mugs, but I think
right,
when you look
come on, mate, let's wrap this up because I forgot there's the major started today. Golf.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Way off topic, brothers. What's your thoughts on the incident with John Fury? I'm a thank you.
Did you notice he didn't headbutt any of the big guys? I noticed that he picked on the...
he picked the smallest guy, didn't he?
Least mouthy one.
Yeah, I agree with Eddie Earn. What Eddie Earn said yesterday. He's good for boxing, but yeah, sometimes it just goes over the top. It's cringe-worthy sometimes. It's really cringe-worthy sometimes. Sometimes it's funny, but most of the time it's like, but like, Dad, stop. Just do me a favour, stop. Yeah. Or you're not coming anymore. But yeah, Motion. Who was that? Who was that? Who sent that?
Rob, I think.
Yeah, part of the promotion, Rob. So I'm sure a few more people have got some.
I don't know, mate. I think he turns people off. I do. I think he irritates people.
Come on, Si. Any publicity is not bad publicity.
Yeah, no. I get that side of it, but I just think like the way. I don't think people were particularly impressed with that because
not boxing people, no, but the average man on the street be like, oh yeah, I was going in it.
Oh, this is a bit tasty.
I can do that. So yeah.
No, I can get
that. No, yeah, it's not for me any of that. But I'd like to see him do that to Carl Froch. And that would be good.
He said he's going to do it to Carl Froch and Tony Bellew.
Yeah, I'd like to see him do that to Carl Froch and Tony Bellew. That'd be good. I'd pay to watch that.
Yeah, that's very true.
Then we'd see a brawl.
Oh yeah. Right, guys, appreciate you massively. Thank you very much. If you're a Cardiff City fan, make sure you check out.
We're not doing Super 6.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah. Well, yes, we've got to do Super 6, mate.
Absolutely.
The last one. Well done for a reminder. Have you got it up?
Yeah, I'm got it up.
Go on, you go through it.
You've not seen the new title here, look. Super 6 champ.
Right.
This
you go through
one, isn't it?
This is the last round, yeah.
City 3-0.
Yeah, I think City 3-1. I'll go.
Liverpool 2-0.
What have they got? Liverpool?
Wolves at home.
3-1 Liverpool.
All right, 2-0 Liverpool. Arsenal. 4-1.
Yeah, I think 3-0 Arsenal.
I'm going to go 3-1 United.
Brighton. Is that at? Oh, no, that's at Brighton.
It's not Brighton, but Brighton are struggling at the minute. And United, after that, I fancy him going there with, I just fancy him. But they could get beat 3-1. Spurs,
United,
Sheffield United at home. Spurs. I'll go Spurs 2-1.
6-0. Spurs.
6-0 Spurs. At home, last game, no. Don't be that. Crystal Palace at home to Aston Villa. Aston Villa have been on the piss. 2-2.
3-2 Villa.
Prediction time. I'm not saying that. That's
and NC Network says Shane Rhodri's shit at fantasy football. He also says Chris Coleman's been linked with the AEL Lissamol job. Rhodri will be very happy.
I am very happy because the great EPL have won the league. The best team in Cyprus by a country mile. We'll be in Europe. Spoke to the lads all this week. Very, very happy. Really only Larnaca to challenge us, but we've seen them off last day. They couldn't defeat us. So, but no other teams really give us a threat, really. So we were on top most of the season, and the great Applewell will be they'll be just starting the sunbed shops now after this week. So back to putting sunbeds out.
There we go, mate. All right,
that's how good the league is. Day job, sunbed, lounger, put her out of. Winter job, footballer in the pub league.
There we go. We'll be back next week. Look out for the interviews with the players in a bit.
Yeah.